All right, Shalom. First, I want to start by giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakodash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Yahweh be the name of the Heavenly Father who the world calls God. Yahushai be the name of his beloved Son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That's the true names. And the Lashwan Kodash, the ancient Hebrew. The only names you call upon for salvation if you're an Israelite, the Israelites being so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today, as well as the Israelite foreigners that have taken on the appearance of the heathen. But their seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and blessings and salutations to the Lord's elect. I'm back with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And the title I'm going to give this lesson is Esau wants Jake in the uproar. All right, Esau wants Jake in the uproar.
It is 6:34, continuing coverage of breaking news we've been following since Wednesday night. Daquan Johnson shot and killed by Grand Rapids police, and this morning we're expecting Michigan State Police to continue their investigation into what happened.
We've talked with Johnson's family, neighbors, the Grand Rapids Police Department, and community leaders.
Another unwarranted murdering of Jake, another slaying of, Jake, in America, which has become, that's a normal thing here in Babylon the Great. Our people's lives, hold no value in this devil's eye, okay? And our people have to wake up and are realizing that, the so-called white man is their enemy. All right, Esau, Edom is his true identity, all right? But another slaying of Jake, okay?
About what happened. 13 on your sides. Aaron Sullivan live this morning in Grand Rapids. Aaron, good morning to you. What are we hearing from those groups?
Emily, Tanner, well, a question from the community this morning is, why did Daquan Johnson have to die? We know that Johnson was riding a bike Tuesday evening after officers stopped him. While attempting to stop him, they said he wasn't complying. Now, Grand Rapids police did share this body camera video saying Johnson ran, so they used a police dog to attempt to stop him. That's when they say Johnson pulled out a gun and an officer shot him.
All right, the same old story. Jake had a gun, which we know is BS. But nonetheless, the Lord is having all these events happen, to get Jake in their feelings, man. Jake watching this, and, they get all emotional about these killings, these murders, because that's what it is, year after year. You have these cameras recording these Jake's dying by the hand of these police officers, man. Okay? Which is rousing Jake up. See how about Shemel Shai? Rousing Jake up. Genesis 49:9, it says, Judah is a lion's whelp. Judah referring to the so-called Negroes, all right, the head tribe of the nation of Israel. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion and as an old lion. Our people have gotten that spirit of, basically defeated spirit, because at one time our people were, rising up, not in the name of Yahweh Shema Shai, but, just in an uproar of how they were being treated in the society. But all that calmed down, right? It says, he couched as a lion, as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? All right, so it's Yahweh Shema Shai that's having these different things be recorded to get Jake in their feelings, to ultimately rouse them up, okay?
But Johnson's family is sharing a different video this morning, saying he was on his stomach when he was killed.
Well, my son, nowhere in that video was he resisting. I saw somebody laying on their stomach with a dog on their back and 2 police officers behind them. And then I watched them shoot my son 4 times. He wasn't just my nephew, but he was a son. He was a dad. He was a brother.
And the average Jake is, thinking, how many times are we going to allow this to happen, until they do something, And it has that that racial tension right there, right in the midst of it all, you know, because the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are our natural-born enemy are these Edomites, all right, the Israelites versus the Edomites, all right, good versus evil. Going back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, her seed and thy seed, you know, we're natural-born enemies. We're fighting in the womb. Genesis, the 25th chapter. Okay, so that racial tension is always bubbling, you know, between these two nations, man. Okay, I want to get the word uproar, you know, because we know Jake, they're not willing to lose their life, you know, in this so-called civilized society. They're not willing to take that sacrifice, you know, but Jake's back is going to be up against the wall eventually, man. You know, the Lord's going to take away your livelihood. He's going to take away all these distractions. And it's going to be an uproar. It's going to be unrest. It's going to be race wars, all of that. All right, so this is Uproar in Edom Online. It says, outbreak of disorder. Okay, outbreak of disorder. Revolt, commotion. All right, and that's what Esau wants. So he could be justified in smashing on Jake. Okay, which we know a time of Jacob's trouble is coming. Or, you know, it's here, but it's gonna intensify. And this is all a part of it. Okay, you see what they're doing with ICE, you know, terrorizing Northern Kingdom. All right. It says a tumult, riot, literally a stirring up. Okay, so the Lord is stirring up Jake. You know, he just had I don't remember what type of awards it was, but it was Michael B. Jordan and another actor, older actor, at these awards, you know, presenting whatever it was, and somebody with a so-called Tourette's, you know, yelled out "nigger" or something like that, you know, and they're giving him a pass, you know, Esau's giving him a pass. Oh, it's Tourette's, you know, but let him yell out something concerning them JEWs. I bet you they would have bleeped that, you know. They wouldn't have let that got out. But since it's Jake, you know, they let it fly. And that's you know, our people have to recognize that this society's not for you, man. This is not our rest. These people hate you, man, with a perfect hatred. Okay? So yeah, stirring up, right? It's the Lord that's stirring up Jake, getting them all in their feelings about this man. Okay?
He was a cousin. He was surrounded by people that loved him and that supported him.
Johnson's family, as well as community members.
We need justice. You're not going to receive justice from the devil. Okay? Our justice is going to come from Yahweh Shema Shai. The Lord's going to set this up, right. He's going to balance this out. Okay? Sirach 37. And 10, it says, consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war, nor with the merchant concerning exchange, nor with the buyer of selling, nor with the envious man of thankfulness, nor with the unmerciful man touching kindness. All right, so you don't go to an unmerciful man, you know, concerning matters of kindness. All right, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, is the unmerciful man. He ain't gonna have no kindness, especially not to the Lord's people. It says, nor with the slothful for any work, nor with the hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with the idle servant of much busyness. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel. You see? So you don't go to the unmerciful man touching kindness. Okay, this man ain't gonna show you no kindness. All you gonna get from this man is cruelty. The scriptures say, what is it? How does it go? The mercies of the cruel. No, how does it go? I forget exactly how the scriptures say it. Let me get that. I think tender's in there. Tender mercies of the wicked. Here we go. Tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. That's it right there. Proverbs 12:10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast. Okay, and a beast has more value in the society than a Jake. You know, you see how these Edomites treat a dog. Let a dog be dead in the middle of a street. The Edomites gonna come and get them. But let a Jake be dead in the street. They're gonna leave them bodies there, man. You know, for hours for everyone to see. It says, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. All right, tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. Okay, so this dude is cruel all the way down to his bones. All right, but you ain't gonna get no justice from this devil, man. This dude don't give a goddamn about you.
And leaders marched in Grand Rapids calling for justice in Johnson's death.
How many times are people going to attempt to, march and protest through these damn streets of America, man, on stolen land? Here it is. This place was built off the blood, sweat, tears, pain, suffering of our people. And you walking through these same streets expecting some type of justice? Nah, man. Justice is going to come from Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, vindication is going to come from Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay? Recompense is going to come from Yahweh Shema Shai. All right? Not this goddamn Edomite. All right? But eventually, things is going to get hot in America, man. And Judah's going to rise up. Of course, the other tribes is going to follow. Okay? There's going to be more Jakes that die in even more gruesome ways, man. Isaiah 19:17, in the land of Judah, so-called Negroes, shall be a terror unto Egypt, Egypt being America. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the Lord of hosts, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he have determined against it. Okay? So this place, our people are going to be a terror unto Egypt. All right, they're eventually going to rise up, man. Not spiritually. You got the hopeful elect, rising spiritually. But our people are their backs are going to be up against the wall. Their backs are going to be up against the wall. Esau going to cause some chaos out here. And everything's going to switch up. Everything's going to change. Jake's livelihood is going to be taken away. And it's going to be survival. Okay? Which Esau wants. Not just from our people, but, the whole of America. So they'll be justified in to bring in their so-called order, to establish order. They're going to bring in martial law, military, all right? And, go for their new world order, man. So Esau wants Jake in an uproar, and it's the Lord that's going to rouse Jake up. It's events like this, little instances like this, that is in Jake's mind, just piling up over the years. All these Jakes dying, But yeah, Lord's will is edifying. Esau wants Jake in the uproar, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh by Shema Shai, by Shema Kakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.
And Johnson's mother, Angelica, says she's still not been allowed to see his body. She's hoping later today she can say her final goodbyes. For now in Grand Rapids, I'm Erin Sullivan, 13 on your side.